Have you ever stopped to think, what if every morning wasn't just a beginning, but a declaration? A quiet, powerful statement to the world. This is who I choose to be today. Before notifications start buzzing, before the world demands your attention, take one sacred moment for yourself. This isn't just another morning routine. It's a ritual, a deliberate act of self-respect, a way to take ownership of your mind before the day takes ownership of you. So pause, listen closely. Each morning holds the power to transform your life, not in loud, dramatic ways, but in the quiet strength of gratitude and clarity. Look around. Feel the air entering your lungs, the steady beat of your heart, the subtle warmth in your hands. You woke up today, and that, in itself, is a miracle. Don't let it pass by unnoticed. This moment is yours. Start with a question. What do I want this day to mean? Not for your boss, not for your followers, but for you. When you set a clear intention for your day, you stop drifting. You start directing. You're not reacting, you're choosing. And as Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. In this video, we'll explore how Stoic philosophy, simple, timeless, and practical, can become your daily compass, a way to live with presence, purpose, and peace. Let's begin. Every sunrise is an invitation to start fresh, to do just a little better than yesterday, and to take one more step toward the person you were meant to become. But let's be honest, modern life is noisy, full of distractions. It's far too easy to start your day on autopilot, letting social media or stress dictate your direction. That's why setting an intention each morning is powerful. It's not just a productivity trick, it's a mental anchor, a way to tell your mind, this is what matters today. Think of it like this. Imagine sailing in the middle of the ocean without a rudder or map. No matter how calm the sea, you will drift, but the moment you set a direction, you begin to steer your course. That's what intentions do. They help you cut through the noise. They remind you what matters, and they give you clarity even when life gets messy. Ask yourself, what do I want to achieve today, and why does it matter? It doesn't need to be a grand mission. What matters is that it's specific, focused, and meaningful. Instead of saying, I want to have a good day, say, I will listen with presence when I speak to my loved ones. Or, I will pause and take 3 deep breaths before responding when I feel stressed. These aren't just polite reminders. They're life-changing micro-habits. Imagine this scene. You step out for a morning walk. Instead of just going through the motions, you whisper to yourself, I will use this walk to breathe deeply, clear my mind, and reconnect with the present moment. Suddenly, it's not just a walk, it's a ritual, a reset, a quiet act of self-alignment. And once you've set your intention, there's one more ingredient: discipline. Not every morning will feel inspired. There will be days you wake up groggy, discouraged, or mentally scattered. But discipline is the bridge between intention and transformation. It's what helps you show up, even when motivation doesn't. And that consistent showing up, day by day, builds your inner strength. Discipline isn't about pressure, it's about freedom. Freedom from being at the mercy of every passing mood or distraction. Each time you fulfill a small intention, you're not just checking off a box. You're building integrity with yourself. You're reinforcing that your word matters, that your actions reflect your values, that your life is being shaped on purpose. Let's bring this home with something simple yet profound. Think about how you interact with the people closest to you. What if today you said to yourself, I will spend 30 minutes fully present with someone I love? No phone, no rushing, just care. These small moments may not look heroic on the outside, but they form the quiet architecture of a fulfilled life. So start your day not by reacting, but by choosing. Choose direction over drift. Choose clarity over noise. Choose stillness over chaos. And remember, you don't need the world's permission to take control of your morning. You only need your own. When you begin your morning with purpose and clarity, you lay the first brick in building a day and a life filled with meaning. That intention, no matter how simple, becomes the quiet compass that guides your energy, your attention, and your relationships throughout the day. For example, choosing to listen to your children or your partner without judgment is more than a kind gesture. It's a discipline. By practicing this regularly, you don't just nurture stronger bonds. You begin to notice and appreciate the subtle beauty in daily life, the sound of laughter, the way someone's eyes light up when they feel heard. These small but sacred moments are where true connection lives. A clear intention each morning doesn't require perfection. What it needs is patience, repetition, and a steady commitment to yourself. With each passing day, you take one more step forward in the journey that truly matters, becoming more present, more aware, more fulfilled. As Seneca wisely said, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Let your mornings be reminders that time is precious, and that intentional living is how you make it count. Wake up with gratitude. Begin with purpose. This is how you gain control of your day and build a future that feels aligned and meaningful. 2. The importance of discipline. Many people see discipline as something harsh or restrictive, but in truth, it is the opposite. Discipline is a gift. It is what empowers you to become the version of yourself you admire most. It's like a silent, personal contract, an agreement between who you are and who you know you can become. It turns distant dreams into visible progress and transforms invisible potential into lived experience. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And that's exactly what discipline offers. Not limitation, but freedom. Not the freedom to do anything at any time, but the power to do what is best, even when it's difficult. Think of discipline as the bridge between your current self and your future self. The world is overflowing with ideas, with plans and intentions. But without discipline, those intentions remain just that, ideas. Only discipline transforms them into action. Let's say you want to start running to improve your health. When the alarm goes off in the morning, your bed is warm. Your muscles feel stiff. Your mind begins to bargain with comfort. But discipline is what lifts the blanket. It's the moment you whisper to yourself, I deserve strength. I deserve health. I'm choosing the life I want. Discipline doesn't rely on fleeting bursts of motivation. It's built through consistency, a daily rhythm of effort that over time becomes second nature. Like water slowly carving through stone, small, repeated actions become unstoppable forces. Think about learning the piano. On the first day, your fingers are stiff. The notes sound wrong. But if you show up every day, even just for 15 minutes, a year later, you'll be creating music. That's not magic. That's not raw talent. That's discipline in motion. Discipline is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. In the beginning, Staying consistent may feel like lifting something heavy. It's uncomfortable. It takes energy. But with repetition, it gets lighter. Eventually, discipline stops feeling like effort and starts feeling like identity. And here's the true beauty. When you build discipline, you don't just achieve your goals, you unlock freedom. You gain control over your time, your energy, your reactions. No longer are you ruled by mood or impulse. You decide. Of course, there will be days when discipline feels like a burden, especially when the path gets tough. But remember this, the pain of discipline is temporary, while the pain of regret lasts much longer. Picture someone committed to staying healthy. One evening, they're tempted by a slice of cake. The craving is strong. But when they choose to say no, they don't just stay on track. They build pride. They prove to themselves that their long-term vision matters more than short-term pleasure. Discipline isn't something you're born with. It's something you build, one choice at a time. It begins with the smallest actions, making your bed in the morning, writing down your goals, taking 3 minutes to breathe before you react. These small acts, they're not just habits, they're the seeds of greatness. If discipline shapes your personal path, then service expands that path beyond yourself. It gives your effort purpose and your growth meaning, because at the end of the day, it's not only what you build, it's who you impact along the way. These seemingly small acts, waking up early, following through, keeping promises to yourself, do more than form habits. They shape your character. Over time, they become the blueprint of the person you are becoming. More than just a list of accomplishments, discipline builds a quiet legacy. Not just of what you achieve, but of how you live, how you lead, and how you inspire others. So ask yourself honestly, what do I want to leave behind in this life? If your answer truly matters to you, then know this: discipline is the path. It's the internal compass that keeps you moving forward, even when the road is unclear. Amid distractions, temptations, and setbacks, it becomes your silent guide, reminding you that every single day can be a step closer to the most extraordinary version of yourself. And once you begin to walk that path with intention, Stoic philosophy invites you to take the next step. Focus on service. Because true satisfaction doesn't come from what we collect, but from what we give. Marcus Aurelius, emperor and philosopher, once said, "What we do now echoes in eternity." These words are not just poetic, they're practical. Every action, every moment of service, creates a ripple far beyond what we see. Service isn't a burden. It's not a duty we must check off. It's a way of living that transcends ego and self-interest. At its core, service connects us to a deeper purpose. It reminds us that we are part of something greater than ourselves. When we give, we grow, not just in kindness, but in clarity, compassion, and courage. Think of the ripple effect created by something as small as a kind word, a sincere compliment, or a few quiet minutes spent truly listening to someone in pain. These acts don't require wealth or power, yet they have the ability to lift spirits, shift mindsets, and even change lives. One of the most powerful modern examples of service is the story of Anthony Ray Hinton. Wrongfully imprisoned for nearly 30 years on death row for a crime he didn't commit, Hinton had every reason to surrender to bitterness. But instead, he chose to serve. He became a source of hope for fellow inmates, offering them laughter, friendship, and encouragement, even in the bleakest conditions. Through his grace and compassion, he turned a place of injustice into a place of quiet redemption. And when he was finally exonerated, his story became a living testimony. Even in darkness, service can be a source of light. Serving others doesn't diminish your strength, it multiplies it. It invites humility, it cultivates gratitude, and it teaches a profound truth. Hardship isn't something that blocks your joy. It's something that can shape you into someone capable of lifting others. That's why Stoicism doesn't just ask us to endure. It challenges us to ask, how can this experience help me serve better? This shift in thinking transforms adversity into preparation. It turns trials into tools that deepen our empathy and sharpen our ability to give. And service doesn't require dramatic gestures. You don't need a stage, a spotlight, or a title. Begin small. Listen more than you speak. Offer help before it's asked for. Share your knowledge even when no one's watching. These are the quiet acts that ripple outward, touching hearts, building trust, and strengthening community. Imagine a world where every person committed to just one genuine act of kindness each day. The impact would be immeasurable. Because in the end, greatness isn't measured by money or medals. It's measured by how many lives you touch, how many people you lift, how many moments you turned into meaning. When you live with a spirit of service, you realign yourself with the true nature of humanity: connection, contribution, and love. Through serving others, you don't just help, you heal. You don't just give, you grow. So now, take a moment to reflect. How can I bring the spirit of service into my daily life? Have you ever had an experience where helping someone brought unexpected joy or clarity into your own life? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Your story might just be the ripple that changes someone else's day. After exploring the transformative power of service, we now turn inward to something quieter, yet equally vital. Because no act of service, no pursuit of excellence can reach its full depth without one essential trait: humility. 4. Practice humility. Humility is not weakness, it's quiet strength. It's the steady, unshakable confidence that doesn't need to boast. In Stoic philosophy, humility is not about self-deprecation. It is about clarity, recognizing that our skills, our talents, and our achievements are not just for show, but for service. They are gifts meant to be shared, not shields to hide behind or trophies to hoard. Humility is the gateway to wisdom. It teaches us that we are always students, never finished, never all-knowing. The humble person walks through life with curiosity, asking questions, open to growth, and grateful for every opportunity to learn. They listen more than they speak. They admit when they don't know. And in doing so, they grow in both depth and influence. Think about this. When success arrives, humility grounds us. When failure strikes, it steadies us. It reminds us not to be inflated by praise, nor crushed by setbacks. It helps us hold both outcomes with balance and grace. One compelling example comes from author Jim Collins, who studied high-performing leaders while writing Good to Great. He discovered that the most impactful individuals embodied what he called Level 5 leadership, a rare blend of fierce resolve and deep personal humility. These leaders didn't credit themselves for their accomplishments. Instead, they pointed to their teams, their mentors, and even luck. That humility earned them deep loyalty, trust, and admiration. They didn't demand respect, they inspired it. In everyday life, humility is just as essential. It's the heartbeat of authentic relationships. When we drop our egos, we begin to truly listen. We connect with others, not through dominance, but through empathy. In humble interactions, respect replaces arrogance. Realness replaces performance. These are the kinds of connections that build lasting families, resilient communities, and collaborative workplaces. By contrast, arrogance isolates. It pushes others away. It shuts down dialogue and blocks trust. But humility sees value in others, whether they're peers, strangers, or critics. And that open-mindedness enriches not only those around us, but our own lives too. Nowhere is humility more powerful than in how we handle success and failure. Humility invites us to reflect on where we started and remember who helped us get where we are. Every achievement stands on the shoulders of teachers, friends, sacrifices, and second chances. Similarly, when failure knocks, humility reframes it. Rather than seeing mistakes as personal flaws, the humble person sees them as feedback, as stepping stones. They know that stumbling is not shameful, it's necessary. As Seneca said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." Humble people dare, and because of that, they grow. Humility also nourishes gratitude. Through a humble lens, we begin to see life's blessings with fresh eyes. A meal, a lesson, a kind word, none of it is owed, and all of it is appreciated. And when we feel that gratitude, we feel inspired to give more, share more, and uplift others in return. Importantly, humility doesn't ask us to dim our light. On the contrary, it allows us to shine brighter, but in a way that warms, not burns. The truly humble don't need to compete or compare. They find joy in integrity, fulfillment in sincerity, strength in quietness. Practicing humility builds a kind of resilience that's often overlooked. It helps us stay composed in chaos, open under pressure, and kind even when we're right. But humility, in Stoic philosophy, isn't a solitary virtue. It's part of a greater framework, a way of moving through life with courage, wisdom, and calm. Which leads us naturally to the next challenge on the Stoic path: facing fear. Because even with discipline, service, and humility, fear can still whisper doubts into your mind. It can hold you back from the life you truly want. But the Stoics didn't run from fear. They turned toward it and learned how to turn it into strength. So ask yourself, what might happen if you stopped fearing fear itself? In the next section, we'll explore how to make fear not your enemy, but your teacher. In the previous section, we explored humility, the quiet strength to keep learning, to stay grounded, and to grow. But even the humblest heart faces a powerful challenge: fear. And learning to confront that fear is one of the most courageous acts of all. 5. Face your fears. Taking action in the face of fear isn't just bravery. It's a declaration, a message to yourself and the world that you are not a victim of circumstance, but a master of your own mind. When fear creeps in, it slowly shrinks your world. The walls close in. Doubt begins to whisper. You start questioning your ability, your worth, your direction. Fear becomes the ruler of your thoughts, holding your potential hostage and looping you in a cycle of negative what-ifs. But here's the truth. When you summon the courage to walk through fear, you unlock a life filled with freedom, purpose, and unexpected joy. Let's start with a fundamental truth. Fear is part of being human. It's wired into our survival instinct, there to alert us to danger. But most fears today aren't life-threatening. They come not from real peril, but from stories we spin in our minds, narratives built on uncertainty and self-doubt. Think back. Have you ever dreaded giving a presentation, feared judgment or failure, and then walked away realizing it wasn't nearly as bad as you imagined? That's fear in action, a mental illusion magnified by anticipation. Take a step back and ask yourself, is this fear protecting my life, or is it distorting my perspective? Once you begin to recognize fear as a narrative, not a fact, you take the first step in reclaiming your power. Because fear is rarely as big as we make it. It grows in the dark. But when exposed to the light of clarity, it often dissolves. For example, let's say you're afraid of water. Maybe you avoid swimming entirely, not because you can't swim, but because of a past memory that planted fear in your mind. But what happens when you decide to learn? The first lessons may be uncomfortable. You might feel tense, but with small, consistent steps and support from a teacher or a friend, you begin to float, then move, then swim. What once seemed terrifying becomes liberating. Another powerful example, fear of heights. Picture standing on a rocky ledge. The wind brushes your face, your legs tense, and your heart pounds. You could step back, or you could breathe, deep, steady, and take one small step forward, and then another. And then, suddenly, you're standing at the summit. The fear? It's behind you. That moment isn't just about overcoming a physical height. It's about conquering the mental wall that said, you can't. And here's something beautiful. Fear always signals growth. On the other side of fear is everything you truly want. Freedom, fulfillment, purpose. Facing fear is the price of evolution. Whether it's an artist stepping onto a stage for the first time, or a young adult choosing to leave their comfort zone to pursue a passion, every bold step forward is a movement toward your best self. Let's be clear. Courage doesn't mean you feel fearless. It means you act despite the fear. And every time you do, your confidence expands. It's like climbing a mountain. Every step forward raises your view, clears your vision, and strengthens your stride. Even more, fear becomes a compass. It points toward what matters most: your dreams, your values, your desire for freedom or connection. And when you start to move toward it, not away from it, you step into the life that's waiting for you. Start small. If you fear public speaking, start by having a conversation with someone new. If you fear change, shift just one small habit in your routine. And most importantly, don't go it alone. Talk to someone, a friend, a coach, a mentor. Their encouragement can become the spark that helps you move through hesitation. Remember, fear isn't something to be eliminated. It's something to learn from. When you face it with awareness and intention, you don't just survive, you grow, you stretch, you evolve into a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. So don't let fear sit in the driver's seat. Don't let it silence your dreams or limit your life. Take the step. Move forward, just a little, because right there, on the other side of fear, is your next chapter. A chapter of courage, of freedom, of becoming more fully alive. After learning how to face fear and take that first brave step forward, there's one more element that keeps you moving through adversity: faith in yourself. Because if fear holds you back, self-belief is what pushes you onward. When you truly believe in your abilities, you don't just act with confidence, you act with purpose. You become willing to take risks, confront challenges, and even embrace failure. That inner trust becomes your driving force, guiding you through the journey of personal growth and self-improvement. Of course, maintaining that belief isn't always easy. Life will test it again and again. But persistence and determination are what keep you anchored when doubt begins to creep in. They are the invisible roots that hold you steady during emotional storms. Here's the truth: your worth isn't measured by your achievements or public recognition. It doesn't come from applause or awards. You are already enough, right now. Even if you haven't reached your biggest goals, your value lies in your self-awareness and your self-respect. It comes from how you see yourself, not through the lens of perfection, but through the lens of inner truth. You are the one who defines your worth, and that definition must be rooted in a deep understanding of who you are and what you stand for. But on the path to building confidence, setbacks are inevitable. You'll encounter rejection, criticism, and moments of uncertainty. The goal is not to avoid failure, but to learn how to rise each time it visits. Every time you fall, you carry a lesson with you, and those lessons, over time, become your strength. Self-doubt and fear are natural, especially when you start something new. But belief in yourself is what keeps you moving forward, even in the face of uncertainty. That belief transforms obstacles into stepping stones and mistakes into valuable insights. It teaches you to see difficulty not as a dead end, but as a doorway. History is filled with people who weren't always the most talented or the luckiest, but who succeeded because they never stopped believing in themselves. Take Thomas Edison, the man behind the invention of the light bulb. He once said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." What gave him the power to keep going? Belief. A deep, unwavering faith in his own potential. That kind of belief isn't a one-time decision. It's something you must choose daily. It's a habit, a practice, a mindset you nurture over time. Self-belief also means accepting yourself fully, your strengths, your flaws, your past, and your hopes for the future. When you practice self-awareness and self-acceptance, you stop trying to meet someone else's definition of success. Instead, you find fulfillment in each small step forward. Even on hard days, you begin to see progress, not in leaps, but in inches. And that too is victory. So trust yourself. Speak kindly to yourself. Embrace the challenges because they are shaping you. Every time you face a new obstacle, you're given another chance to rise stronger, to understand yourself more deeply, and to prove that your journey is still unfolding. Don't let failure convince you that you're not worthy. Don't let doubt convince you to settle. Each new day is a chance to reinforce your belief in your own power. And once you begin to understand that power, something beautiful happens. Challenges stop feeling like enemies. Instead, they become companions, teachers that shape your strength and fuel your momentum. Now, ask yourself, are you truly living in your self-belief? Or are you still being pulled into fear or regret? The next chapter invites you into something even more powerful, the art of being fully present. To stop living in the shadow of yesterday or the anxiety of tomorrow, and instead, to step boldly into this moment, the only one that truly belongs to you. After exploring the power of believing in yourself, we now arrive at a truth that is often overlooked, yet incredibly transformative: the art of living fully in the present moment. It is in these rare but precious moments, when our minds are not wandering to the past or racing toward the future, that we discover true fulfillment. When we're truly present, we begin to notice the beauty in life's smallest details: the softness of a morning breeze, the warmth of a shared smile, the quiet comfort of simply breathing with awareness. These moments may seem ordinary, but they hold extraordinary power. A timeless example of living in the present comes from Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and renowned Stoic philosopher. Despite bearing the weight of an empire and the relentless stress of leadership, he returned time and again to one central idea: focus on what is within your control right now. In his personal writings, Marcus frequently emphasized the value of presence. He understood that anxiety over the future would never cease. And yet, he trained himself to meet each challenge as it came, not with panic or regret, but with clarity, steadiness, and calm. When confronted with difficult decisions, he didn't get lost in predictions or imagined outcomes. He simply asked, "What can I do right now, in this moment, with reason and integrity?" His ability to stay grounded amidst chaos is a lasting testament to the strength that comes from living fully in the present. It was this inner steadiness that allowed him to navigate crisis after crisis while preserving his dignity and peace of mind. Living in the moment doesn't just help during peaceful times. It's a powerful tool in times of stress and uncertainty. When we are no longer burdened by thoughts of what might happen or what should have happened, we can focus on the only thing we truly control: our response in the now. In every challenge, the present moment offers us a decision point, a space where we can pause, think clearly, and act with intention. And when our minds are still, even the heaviest burdens become easier to carry. This presence also transforms our relationships. Being truly present with another person isn't just about hearing them. It's about listening, understanding, and showing them they matter. Giving someone your full attention is a rare and powerful gift. It says, "You are worthy of this moment. I see you. I care." In this way, presence becomes the foundation for deeper, more authentic connections. It fosters trust, love, and respect, the ingredients of lasting relationships. Living fully in the present also lightens the emotional load of modern life. Anxiety, after all, is often rooted in what hasn't happened yet. Regret comes from clinging to what we can no longer change. But when we shift our focus to what's happening now, the sights, sounds, feelings of this very instant, we invite peace into our minds and hearts. Ultimately, life is not only about achieving goals or reaching distant milestones. While those things matter, they are not the full picture. Happiness is not found at the end of the road. It's discovered along the way. It's in the conversations, the laughter, the quiet moments we often overlook. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." In other words, when we stop chasing what we don't have and start appreciating what we do, we unlock the richness of life. So take a deep breath. Look around, feel your feet on the ground. This moment is yours. It is not a rehearsal. It is not disposable. It is a chance to live, to love, to be present. Every breath you take is a reminder. You are alive right now. Let this moment be enough. After learning to live fully in the present moment, we now turn to a powerful tool that shapes how we experience each new day: our words. Because how we speak to ourselves and others determines not only our mindset, but our reality. Say positive words. Positivity is not about ignoring pain or pretending life is perfect. On the contrary, it's about learning to see opportunities in hardship, to recognize growth in failure, and to trust that even the darkest tunnel has light at the end. When we speak positively, we remind ourselves of what's possible and what's still within our control. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom. Life can throw anything at you, but your response remains yours to choose. One of the most overlooked yet powerful habits in daily life is the way we talk to ourselves. For example, when you replace thoughts like "I can't" or "it's too late" with phrases like "I can learn from this" or "this is helping me grow," something shifts. Your energy lifts. Your focus sharpens. You begin to move forward, not out of denial, but out of empowerment. The words we speak are not empty. They are seeds. When planted with care and consistency, they bloom into self-respect, motivation, and resilience. Positive words create a mental environment where self-belief can thrive. Take the example of J.K. Rowling, the beloved author of the Harry Potter series. Long before she became one of the most successful writers in history, she endured rejection after rejection. She was unemployed, a single mother living on government support. But instead of letting those failures define her, she chose to reframe them. One of the phrases that carried her through her lowest moments was, "What doesn't kill me makes me stronger." And through that mindset, she found the strength to keep going, until her story changed the lives of millions. That's the power of words. But their impact doesn't stop with you. Positive words ripple outward. When you speak with kindness, encouragement, and sincerity to those around you, you strengthen your relationships. You show people they matter. You create trust, love, and mutual support, one conversation at a time. We all have the ability to change our lives and the lives of others by simply shifting our language. Each morning, take a moment to speak uplifting words to yourself and to those you love, not as a ritual of false optimism, but as a conscious act of clarity and strength. Instead of starting your day worrying about what could go wrong, say this: "I can handle this. I can grow from this. I have what it takes." And watch how those words begin to reshape not only how you think, but how you feel, how you act, and how you connect. Positivity doesn't mean you ignore reality. It means you choose to face it with strength and hope instead of fear and defeat. So let every morning begin with intention. Let your first words be ones that fuel your courage, not your doubt. Speak to yourself with the same kindness you would offer a friend. These words may seem small, but they carry the weight of transformation. As your mornings change, your life begins to change. Now, we'd love to hear from you. What are the positive words you say to yourself each morning? Share them in the comments and tell us how they've helped shape your mindset and your life. Your dream reflects your deepest values, passions, and the unique purpose you feel called to fulfill. That's why taking a moment each morning to reconnect with your dream isn't just inspiring, it's grounding. It brings you back to your why, the reason you keep moving forward. Ask yourself, why does this dream matter to me? What is it really about? When you truly understand the deeper meaning behind your dream, you gain the strength to persist. even when things get hard. That clarity transforms doubt into discipline and setbacks into stepping stones. A beautiful example of this persistence is the story of a young artist. She began her journey painting modest pieces, pouring her heart into every canvas. But for years, her work was ignored. No recognition, no praise. Many would have quit, but she didn't. Her dream wasn't about applause. It was about expression, about sharing emotion and meaning through art. So she kept creating. Every rejection became a lesson. Every quiet season became a chance to improve her technique and refine her vision. Eventually, her unique style caught the eyes of collectors and critics. But more importantly, her paintings began to touch people, awakening emotion, challenging perspective, sparking reflection. Her dream wasn't just to be a famous artist. It was to make people feel ... to help them see the world and themselves differently. And through her persistence, she made that vision real. On your own journey, remember, your dream may shift and grow. Life changes, and so can your vision. That doesn't mean you abandon your original dream. It means you check in with it. You ask, does this still reflect who I am today? If the answer is yes, keep going. If not, adjust your path while keeping your core values close. The road to your dream isn't always straight. It's filled with sharp turns, quiet stretches, and unexpected detours. But each step, each lesson, each challenge, they all add depth to your story and value to your vision. Reflecting on your dream each morning helps you stay grateful, not just for where you're going, but for how far you've come. Because a dream isn't just a destination. It's the daily process of becoming, the choices you make, and the courage you show along the way. And now, as we come to the end of this journey, let's look back at what we've explored together. We discovered how Stoic philosophy can become a powerful companion every morning, guiding us with calm, self-control, and presence. We've learned that a still mind, deliberate action, and inner discipline are not just ideals, but practical tools to help you face each day with confidence and peace. So tomorrow morning, when you wake up, remember, you get to choose how you show up. Stoicism gives you the mindset to lead your day, not be led by it. Now we'd love to hear from you. What did you find most valuable in this video? How would it feel to start your day with the calm strength of a Stoic? Please share your thoughts in the comments. We read every one. And if this video has inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss the next story or Stoic insight. Thank you for watching. And remember, every day is a new chance to live with wisdom, purpose, and peace. See you in the next video.